Drishti IAS is pleased to revise its special program Mastering Mains Answer Writing, targeting answer writing in Civil Services Main Examination. We will be alternatively covering GS Papers 1, 2 and 3 through this program. For GS Paper 4, please watch our program Ethics, Definitions and Concepts. The link for it is mentioned in the description below. So what is the structure of the program? We begin by looking at a question, then narrow it down to the syllabus and assess the weightage of the topic. Then we learn on how to approach the question, structuring the answer, and then write the actual answer. We finally conclude the episode by looking at questions asked in the previous year examinations. Let us look at the question which we will be discussing today. Discuss the impact of Sanskritization, Westernization, Modernization on Indian society. The question can be narrowed down to salient features of Indian society, diversity of India, that is part of GS Paper 1. The importance of the topic over the years can be assessed from the graph displayed. Now we shift towards how to approach the question. In general, there are two things we must understand with respect to a question. A, the underlying theme of the question, and B, what is or are being asked about the theme. Now, let us look at the question again. Discuss the impact of Sanskritization, Westernization, Modernization on Indian society. The underlying theme of this question is features of Indian society and its diversity. About this theme, we must discuss the impact of Sanskritization on Indian society, impact of Westernization on Indian society, and the impact of modernization on Indian society. To answer the given question, let us first understand the meaning of the command word discuss. Discuss means broadly covering and all-encompassing answer, highlighting both positive and negative aspects of the theme. Solutions and remedies can also be suggested. Now moving towards how to structure the answer. The first part of the answer will be the introduction of the answer, which will include a brief description on Indian society. The second part of the answer, that is the body, includes impact of Sanskritization on Indian society, impact of Westernization on Indian society, and impact of modernization on Indian society. Lastly, in our conclusion, we will suggest measures in the Indian Constitution to protect diversity. Now, we try to write the actual answer. But before we commence, we would like to make it very clear that the answer provided here is a representative answer. That is, how the actual answer may look like. It can be adapted or modified as per your own natural style of writing, whether paragraph form or short sentences or bullets or diagrams. We have also taken certain liberties with the word limit by including certain additional information in the answer for your comprehensive understanding. Without much ado, let us write. The introduction. The essence of Indian society lies in harboring diverse and distinct identities, ethnicities, languages, religions, and culinary preferences. History stands witness to the fact that the societies that have struggled to hold differences were shattered in such an attempt. Modernization and Westernization has been the external factor, and Sanskritization is more of an internal factor which has impacted Indian society in a multitude of ways. Shifting towards the body part of the answer. Let us focus on the impact of Indian society of different social processes, beginning with the impact of Sanskritization on Indian society. Sanskritization is a process through which lower caste try to achieve upward social mobility by emulating the customs and rituals of the upper caste. It is a cultural process, but changes in social status and occupations as a consequence of the upward mobility brought about by Sanskritization also makes it a structural process. It accepts the way of the upper caste as superior and that of the lower caste as inferior. Therefore, the desire to imitate the upper caste is seen as natural and desirable. The impacts. It seems to justify a model that rests on inequality and exclusion. It appears to suggest that to believe in the concept of pollution and purity of groups of people is justifiable. It results in the adoption of upper caste rites and rituals, which leads to the practice of secluding girls and women, adopting dowry practices instead of bride price, and practicing caste discrimination against other groups, etc. The effect of such a trend is that the key characteristics of Dalit culture and society are eroded. For example, the very worth of labor which lower castes do is degraded and rendered shameful. Now, looking at the impact of Westernization on Indian society. Westernization, the contact with the West, particularly with England, set in motion another process of transformation in India, known as Westernization. It is characterized by Western patterns of administration, legal system, culture, and education through the medium of the English language. Impacts. Under the impact of the Western way of life, a sizable section of educated and urbanized Indians have adopted the Western style of dress, food, drink, speech, and manner. The emulation of the West inculcated the values of Western democracy, industrialization, and capitalism. There are cultural as well as structural aspects of Westernization. It brought about structural changes by the growth of modern occupations related to modern education, economy, and industry. Moving on to impact of modernization on Indian society. Modernization is a process by which modern scientific knowledge is introduced in the society with the ultimate purpose of achieving a better and more satisfactory life in the broadest sense of the term, accepted by the society concerned. Impacts. It has introduced structural changes in social institutions like marriage, family, caste, etc. The concept of joint families is rapidly decreasing. Everyone wants to remain aloof from others. There are some eliminative changes like the disappearance of cultural traits, behavioral patterns, and values, etc. Modernity assumes that local ties and parochial perspectives give way to universal commitments and cosmopolitan attitudes. The truth of utility, calculation, and science take precedence over those of the emotions, the sacred, and the non-rational. And shifting to the last part of our answer. India has ensured its diversity through fundamental rights such as the right to equality and freedom, which are provided in the Constitution. India is considered to be the cradle of civilizations. We have continued dissemination of our culture since ages and have tried to adapt according to the change that rise. Despite the changes in society, India remains a diverse country, a bewildering mosaic of communities of all kinds. Our peculiar societal genius is to fashion a form of coexistence where diversity can flourish and find its place. Now we look at the questions asked in the previous year examinations. In 2019, the following questions were asked. Do we have cultural pockets of small India all over the nation? Elaborate with examples. In 2018, the following question was asked. Caste system is assuming new identities and associational forms. Hence, the caste system cannot be eradicated in India. Comment. In 2017, the following questions were asked. In the context of the diversity of India, can it be said that the regions form cultural units rather than the states? Give reasons with examples from your point of view. The spirit of tolerance and love is not only an interesting feature of Indian society from early times, but it is also playing an important part in the present. Elaborate. In 2016, the following question was asked. Has the formation of linguistic states strengthened the cause of Indian unity? In 2015, the following questions were asked. Describe any four cultural elements of diversity in India and rate their relative significance in building a national identity. Debate the issue of whether and how contemporary movements for the assertion of Dalit identity work towards annihilation of caste. And in 2014, the following questions were asked. How does patriarchy impact the position of a middle-class working woman in India? Why do some of the most prosperous regions of India have an adverse sex ratio for women? Give your arguments. And the life cycle of a joint family depends on economic factors rather than social values. Discuss. With this, we conclude today's episode of Mastering Mains Answer Writing. Until next time, stay safe and thank you. To watch our videos in Hindi, subscribe to our Hindi YouTube channel Drishti IAS.